Hey everybody, it's me, Edward Jones, back for a new video. This is another open carry report. Today is July 17th, 2022, and we got some changes. We got some new stories that actually happen. So usually with my stories on open carry in South Carolina, they've been pretty dull. Nothing really goes on. A lot of times, more often I get more praise than anything else. Well, so this happened a few weeks ago. My neighbor, he had recently bought New Haven 600, which is basically a Mossberg 500, made under a different name, probably in the late 70s, early 80s. And so he wanted to, he hadn't shot it yet. And I asked him if he wanted to go to range, and so he agreed. On the way to range, we didn't get any lunch yet, so we decided to stop off at this restaurant. And so we got our food, and I went to get, and there's an indoor seating and outdoor seating, so we were gonna eat indoors. And I got my food, but I wanted to go wash my hands first, so I came back out, and then all of a sudden I heard the manager say, "Was he carrying a gun?" And one employee said, "Yeah." So he said to me, "Hey, it's against our policy if you be, per company policy, you can't be carrying inside." And I said, "Well, I don't see the sign on the door." And then he said, "Well, considering all the shootings that's been going on, and this is after Uvalde and Buffalo," he said, we didn't really have any guns inside." So I'm already irritated. I was a little bit irritated because I already paid for my food. So I said, "Well, I can't really, I don't want to. I won't not eat." So, but my neighbor suggested that we go outside and eat. I said, "All right, we'll do that." And so that's the first time I've really been asked to, leave because I was carrying. And the thing is, I was already a customer, so it was pretty crazy. But I guess I figured, you got my money already. Doesn't matter what I do after that point. But the manager said, didn't want me inside the store. But it's funny because I've been to the same restaurant open carrying, and other ones just like it open carrying, and no one said a peep. But I guess he was concerned about I guess maybe the sensibilities of other patrons. So there was that one incident, and then a few days later, I was leaving from work. I did an online order for Sonic, the Sonic drive-through, and I was gonna sit in the parking lot, and eat my food inside the truck. Anyway, I was driving, and that day after work, it was raining. And I remember as I got close to the restaurant, I saw a guy walking down the street, or walking down the sidewalk. He had no shirt on. He looked pretty disheveled. And I was thinking, well, I had a raincoat, but I said, well, I have an extra poncho. Maybe I can give him that. At least he has something to cover himself up with. So I pulled into the Sonic drive-through. I pulled into one of the parking spots, and right next to me is right next to that Sonic is a gas station. There was a cop car there. And as I got out, I had my 1911 on in my circle holster. I walked around the truck to get the poncho on the other side of my seat. As I got out, I saw this cop had stepped out of his car, and he was like standing in front of his car. And I remember he said as I was walking, I was gonna cut through the gas station to catch up to the guy. I remember he said something. I can't really make out what he said, but I remember I know he was addressing me. So I walked over to him, and the cop asked me, "Do you have a CWP?" And I asked him, "Do you have probable cause?" And he said, "Say it again." I said, "Do you have probable cause?" So, because in South Carolina, a cop cannot ask to see your he cannot ask to see your CWP unless he has probable cause. And after that point, if he doesn't have probable cause, after that, if you're not being detained, you can tell him to blow off and go on about your way. So anyway, I asked, he said, he wasn't trying to CP me probable cause or PC me probable cause, and he was wanted wanted me to understand that even though open carry is legal in South Carolina, I still have to have a permit to carry openly. I said okay. And he said and then he said, are you more informed? Are you now more? He said, because if you answered no, I would have to detain you. And I said, oh. He said, "Do you feel more informed after this conversation?" I said, "Yeah." And then I said, "Well, you take care, have a nice day." I stuck my hand out to shake his hand. He shook my hand, and I went and caught with the guy to give him the poncho. and I walked back to my truck and get my food, and I ate in the truck. So this is the first time I've ever been stopped by a police officer asking to see a CWP. Now I could have just, presented mine, but I didn't have any. But there was, like I said, he didn't have probable cause to ask to see mine. I wasn't doing anything wrong, and it got handled. Got handled that way. I think he was. I think the officer was more surprised that I knew to ask him first if he had probable cause, because because it could have easily turned. I mean, if I was the thing is, if I was up to no good, I would just conceal it. I wouldn't be carrying openly. But if I was up to no good and I was also carrying openly, then conflict could have just started right there on the spot. But it didn't. So the thing is, I remained cool. My heart rate did go up a little bit when, after I asked if he had probable cause, because I wasn't sure what was going to happen after that. But I knew that at the end of the day, him and I wanted to go home. So I didn't think that anything was going to go, anything major was going to happen. There was going to be no blow up or anything like that. But like he said, if I had answered no, he would have to detain me. So I already knew I had the right to remain silent. I didn't have to say anything I didn't want to say. I was like, oh, okay. But then those are two instances of something happening. Where I was seeing open carrying. Now I did mention a while back that I did go to Arby's, but the reason why I didn't say, the reason why I may not have brought it up or may not include it in my series, because I didn't even make it inside the store. The manager was outside with another employee smoking a cigarette and saw me carrying my .357 Magnum, and so I couldn't carry that inside the store. And I thought it was funny because they definitely needed customers. So I just left and went elsewhere. But those two instances I just mentioned, the one at the gas station and the one at the restaurant I was away with my neighbor, those are two instances where I basically I guess I got somewhat hassled for open carrying. But hey, I came out on top and no one got hurt. There was no insults or anything like that. So I just wanted to say that it may happen if you are open carrying, especially in South Carolina. Obviously if you're open carrying anywhere else and you need know your laws, your state laws and local laws. But here in South Carolina, if you're stopped just for open carrying and they ask to see your CWP, all you have to do is ask, do you have probable cause? And if they don't have probable cause, then you just hey, take care, have a nice day, and keep it going. Well, that's my video. Tell me, do you think I handle the situations well? Think there's anything that you would have done that would differ from what I did? Please share your thoughts. I love to read everybody's comments. Like, share, and subscribe. If you want to help out with the channel, look on my YouTube homepage for the give up that cheese button and take you to PayPal. All donation amounts are appreciated. Any gripes, complaints, see me at PM. I'll see if I can address them. That's my video. This is the open carry report for July 17th, 2022. I'm Edward Jones. You guys take care, be safe, stay strapped, and God bless.